What is it like living in Airbnbs? What up YouTube? It's your boy Jermaine back with another video. In this video I want to talk about what it's like living in Airbnbs. Now if you're a subscriber, if you've been following my channel for a while, you guys know that I'm like big involved in the sharing economy, Uber, Lyft, Postmates, Caviar, all these sharing economy apps. There's another sharing economy app out there by the name of Airbnb, and with Airbnb you can make money off of renting out spaces in your house, or you can rent places to stay off of Airbnb. And for the past, I would say, month and a half, I've basically been living off of Airbnb. Now a couple nights I did stay in a few hotels and I did crash out at a friend's house a few nights, but for the most part, almost every night has been Airbnb. And I just want to talk about my experience, like basically living off of a website like Airbnb. Well, first off, I would have to say it's a lot of fun. One question I've received from subscribers, Jermaine, why don't you just rent a place? It seems like Airbnb is pretty dang expensive. And for the most part, Airbnb is expensive, but one of the main reasons why I sort of wanted to like live in Airbnbs, my goal is to live in Airbnbs for a year, and then after a year's up, I sort of want to look for a place like maybe in the city or in LA. Maybe I would like figure out where I want to go, because I sort of just like broke up with my girlfriend and then we moved out of our house, and I didn't exactly want to just go rent another place in the city because places in the city are pretty dang expensive, and I also kind of want to travel a little bit. So if I know I want to travel, like I'm not going to go rent a place, like I'm just going to bum around, take my travel trips and then come back and then settle down. That's one reason I said Airbnb may not be so bad. Well, since I'm backpacking, practically, living out of a backpack, I'm staying at hostel houses on Airbnb. Now, what is a hostel house? If you've never heard of a hostel house, well, if you don't know what a hostel is, well, they're really big in Europe and Southeast Asia. Hostels they're kind of like hotels, but instead of, you have your own room, they'll put like 2, 3, 4 people in one room, and the costs are much, much lower. The hostel experience is completely different from a hotel experience, because if you are traveling by yourself and you stay at a hotel, well, I guess you go down and meet people at the bar, but if you're traveling by yourself, you stay at a hostel, it is so much easier to meet people. There's all sorts of people around from all sorts of places, and it's just really, really easy to meet people. Just like it is staying in Airbnb hostel houses. Oh my gosh, like I have just had a blast since I left my house in Oakland. Since I moved from Oakland, I haven't stayed in that many different Airbnbs. Pretty much every week I go to the Airbnb site, I look for a new place to stay, and I basically pick a place based on cost and where it is. Since I moved from Oakland, I've been spending a lot of time in Daly City as well as the Mission District. These are two places I really like. I've been checking out a lot of places on Airbnb that are in Oakland, and I'm really tempted on, staying at an Airbnb in Oakland, because there are quite a few of those over there, and I also have a few business deals going on in Oakland, and if I was staying in Oakland for a week, that means that I wouldn't have to, commute back and forth to get to Oakland, because I would already be in Oakland. That's another cool thing about staying in Airbnb. You can sort of switch up what you're doing all the time. When I lived in Oakland, I would wake up, go over to the West Oakland BART station and ride BART to the city. Nothing wrong with that, it was totally cool. But now, since I'm living in Airbnbs, that changes. Now I'm getting on the train at Daly City and I'm going to the city. Now I'm catching the Muni like way out here in the outer Richmond, and I'm commuting to downtown. It's a lot of fun. Like, I get it, living out of a backpack and living out of a hostel house is definitely not the ideal lifestyle for most people. But if it can work for you, it can work for you. If it can't work for you, it just doesn't work for you. So out of the 3 Airbnb/hostel houses I've stayed in the city, they're all really, really different from one another, and they all have different themes. So the house I'm staying in now, it's technically a hacker house. And why I say technically a hacker house, I call all of these houses hacker houses, but they're technically not all hacker houses. This Airbnb that I'm staying in now is definitely more tech oriented. There's a lot of techies living here. 2 days ago, I just switched rooms from the downstairs room to this room on the 2nd floor, and gosh, the people on the 2nd floor are like the biggest computer dorks ever. Like yesterday when I left, the same guy was on the computer, and then I came back yesterday, Hours later, the same guy was right there on the same spot on the computer. And then I left this morning, the same guy in the same spot on the computer, all at different times. This hostel house that I'm staying in now is like, it's just completely different from one floor to the next. Like on the second floor, it's like way more techies. On the first floor, it was like way more like internationals, like hella people from China and Korea and even Mexico. And a lot of these people are just trying to get jobs in tech. So what they do is they'll move to San Francisco and they'll stay in a hostel house for like, you know, maybe a week or a month or 2 months or even 3 months. Some of the techies that I met on the second floor in the Airbnb that I'm staying in now, they have pretty much lived there for like 2 or 3 months. So they're pretty much like there. And other people that I met there, they're staying there for like 2-3 days or a week or something. They're just traveling around. So it works out great. Do you cook in Airbnbs? Of course, that's one really awesome thing about staying in an Airbnb versus staying in a hotel if you're traveling. If you stay in a hotel, usually hotels don't have kitchens in the room, or usually hotels don't have kitchens that you can use freely. When you stay in a hotel, you usually just go out to a restaurant and eat. However, when you're staying in an Airbnb, most of the time you're able to cook. And this hostel house that I'm staying in now has not one, not two, but it has 3 kitchens. So I can get my cook on if I want to, but if you know me, if you follow my videos here on YouTube, your homeboy Jermaine does not like to cook. I would rather, you know, whip out my phone and order me something from UberEats and have it delivered, go downstairs, pick it up, or just, you know, go right down to the store and like grab something. Like, I'm just not a big fan of cooking. If you're into cooking and you want to travel soon and you want to travel on a budget, well, if you stay in Airbnbs, definitely go read the comments, see if you can use the kitchen. And if you can use the kitchen, maybe they can save you some cash over the course of your trip. If you're staying for a week or a month or a couple days or however long you're staying, that can save you some extra cash. So what are some of the problems I've ran into staying in Airbnb/hostel houses, since that's what majority I've been staying in? Well, one thing I will say, parking can be somewhat tricky in a lot of places in the Bay Area. And in my case, parking has been kind of a situation. Right now, as the making of this video, I don't have a rental car, so that kind of makes my life a lot easier. The Airbnb house that I'm staying in right now, it is literally impossible to find a parking spot. If I show up after 6 p.m., I'm gonna have to drive around for like 30 minutes to an hour just to look for a parking spot. I think the parking thing really sucks, but you guys also gotta remember that when you take a house, like a normal house built for like 4 people, and you stick like 20 people in the house, there's probably gonna be more cars around. This is gonna really vary where you live. Like if you live in the middle of the US, I imagine parking may not be as hard as, you know, parking in the Bay Area. I mean, for the most part, the main reason why I'm doing this is because of flexibility. If I go sign a lease somewhere, I'm gonna have to put down a chunk of money and I'm gonna have to commit to stay there for a whole year. With Airbnb, there is no commitment. You want to stay for a week, you stay for a week. You want to stay for 2 days, you stay for 2 days. If you want to stay for a month, stay for a month. Right now, it almost feels like I'm on vacation because the house that I was living at in Oakland was almost just like running a freaking Airbnb there. And now it's like I'm still living in the same situation, but I'm just not running the show. Like I'm not collecting any rent and I'm not paying the utility bills and I don't have to do any of that. So it's a lot of fun. Now, I'm probably not gonna live this way forever. A lot of people are bashing me saying, oh, Jermaine, you're a loser, you're living in Airbnbs. But it's a lot of fun if you ask me. It's a lot of fun, and I'm gonna keep doing it because this is what I do, And you know, when I travel later next month, I'm probably gonna stay in Airbnbs and it's gonna be a whole different experience. I kinda wanna do this for a whole year, and that's somewhat crazy, but you know, 2 months has quickly passed by. It's like April 20th now. And when I first started this journey, it was the 1st of March, so it's almost been 2 months, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been so much fun. Like, I've had a blast so far. Like, can I continue to do this? I think I can continue to do this. Am I pumped about this? Yes. Where am I gonna stay next week? I don't know. I'm actually looking for a place to stay, looking for an Airbnb to stay next week, because I'm thinking about staying in the same place for another week. I like this place. But since I moved on the second floor is definitely not as entertaining as the first floor. So I don't know, maybe I'll go like look at places in Oakland, because Oakland would be pretty cool. It's also much warmer in Oakland. Like, I've been staying in Daly City for quite some time, and the temperature in Daly City is a little bit chillier than the city, and it's much chillier than Oakland. Oakland is like super, super warm, and I haven't really spent that much time in Oakland. It's been like 2 months since I've really spent some time in Oakland. Like, I've been to Oakland, but I just haven't really just chilled in Oakland. Oakland's pretty chill for the most part, and what I mean by chill, it's just like slow pace of life. It's not like the city where you're like rushing and you're moving and you're running back and forth and you're just like, I just gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Oakland is like a hella chill. Like, you can sit back, take a deep breath, relax, look for Airbnbs, and take crowded trains to get to the city every day. Something like that. Did that make any sense? Since I'm in a different location, because usually when I'm in Oakland, I see all the Oakland restaurants, you know, the Chinese restaurants, the Mediterranean restaurants. So now I'm down here in Daly City, and I'm looking for Mediterranean restaurants, and there's like no Mediterranean restaurants. And I go to Chinese restaurants, and there's like just hella Chinese restaurants, like so much Chinese food to choose from. I'm like, man, I feel like a fat kid in a candy store right now. I can have all that Chinese food I want, but I just really want some Mediterranean right now. But that's another thing with Airbnb. Like, I get to bounce around. I get to stay in this part of the city, get to stay in this part of the bay, get to stay over here, and I just get to try different things. Like, I don't know, am I weird? Like, is this weird? Do you guys think this is cool to like just experiment with stuff like this? Like, come on, I'm a millennial, I'm a minimalist, like I'm not into like material things. Come on, I wear like the same clothes like all the time, and I can buy like whatever I want because I'm not even into that crap. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think about this whole Airbnb thing? Like, I love Airbnb. If you have not tried Airbnb, if you have not used it, you should try it. Now, you don't have to go stay in a hacker house. There's all sorts of really, really awesome houses to stay in on Airbnb. And, you know, you can rent like a house, like the whole house for yourself, like you and your family, or you and your wife, and then, you know, you can do laundry at the house, you can freaking cook at the house, you can order pizzas at the house. Like, you could just be a part of the community, you could be part of the neighborhood, instead of, you know, going out of town and staying in some hotel, and that hotel is in the tourist area, and they got you on the 12th floor next to the elevator, so every time someone goes up, you hear that little sound, ding, ding, ding. You know, that's so annoying. Think about it. They got you right smack dead in the middle of the tourist area. Everything is expensive in that area, and it's just a whole bunch of tourists with cameras. Maybe you want a trip like that, and maybe you don't want a trip like that. Maybe you just want a trip where you can just blend into the crowd. So check out Airbnb. If you haven't used it, I will have a link in the description below. This link will get you, I think, like $25 off your first Airbnb. $25 is something, right? Yeah, $25, get you $25 off your Airbnb. So check it out. Now, this is not a sponsored video. Like, Airbnb did not contact me and say, hey, Jermaine, make a video for us. No, they did not contact me. I'm basically making this video because, like I say, I've been living in Airbnbs for almost 2 months, and I plan to do this for a year. And like I say, it is a lot of fun living in Airbnbs. If you're new to my channel, you haven't subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. I make daily vlogs, I make videos talking about the sharing economy, all sorts of things like that. But yeah, if you like this video, once again, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this from me, your boy Jermaine, hit that subscribe button below. And yo, thanks a lot for watching. Peace out.